there's a piece that I wanted to go into that I can either cut it in or we can leave it out. But I really want to talk to both of you guys about it, and it has to do with an
I'm sorry.
article that you wrote, Daisy,
Hmm.
about Dave Hodges, the rebuttal that you gave,
Yes.
and it's
Oh, I read that article. I saw it up there and I haven't read it, Daisy. Well, Mr. Hodges, I have a lot of respect for Dave Hodges, so let me preface with that. He's a great guy and does some great research.
yes,
Um, he believes that our military will fire on us at the drop of a hat if they are ordered to do so. And he used some studies to back up his point. And my opinion is the complete opposite of Mr. Hodges on this. And I just felt really bad because, my family is made up of veterans. I have friends that are veterans. And it was very hurtful to them to read that kind of thing and to see that all over the internet, all over alternative media. And I thought that another side needed to be presented.
and I appreciate and respect what you did and what you said. I'm going to have to take exception. I'm not taking anybody's side
Mm-hmm.
on any of this because I respect both of you immensely. I want to present my personal face-to-face experience, and
Okay.
this is what I believe is. As you both know, I work in food retail, and since everybody eats, I am faced with a great cross section of people from my neighborhood, and where I work at the store is actually positioned on the line between the haves and the have-nots,
Mm-hmm.
and the haves go all the way to homeless, or the have-nots goes all the way to the from the remnants of the middle class down to homeless. And on the haves side, you have everything from the what's left of the prospering middle class all the way to the elite. And I'm not even joking. I mean, it is that defined. And
Wow.
I get to see this broad spectrum of people every day. Well, I work 3 days a week. And within the past 6 months, I've come face to face with members of the military wearing badges that I can't find on the internet anywhere. And my neighbor, who I explained earlier is active military, did not recognize the badge when I drew it out and described it to her in detail. She had never seen or heard of it. And when I asked, it was three gentlemen, and when I asked these men who they reported to, they would not answer. Also, when I asked them if they were members of the Oath Keepers, they actually started stepping away from me. And the expression on their face was terrifying. And they actually moved about 10 feet away from me from where
Wow.
I was at and started talking amongst themselves. I mean, it was a terrifying moment, and not one of them answered me, and it was incredible. Now that was a few months ago, and what happened today's Friday? We're recording this on Friday, September the 19th, and on Wednesday, the 17th, a person comes walking in right up to me, and he's wearing a Blackwater jacket. It's like,
Mm.
my God. And it's like, okay, here we go again. So I asked him about Blackwater, and he was a contractor. He was active military, resigned, went did 2 tours of duty with Blackwater. Wouldn't go into any detail. And once again, the expression, the look, it was it's terrifying. I mean, and this is two different situations where I personally believe that if they were ordered, and I don't know how you feel, Daisy, with the, I know that I wrote in your article, you listed all these family members that were, either active or veteran military, and I don't know how you feel or they feel about Blackwater or now Academy or whatever they're.
They just keep changing their name.
Exactly, well, so that they can continue to me, I see them as mercenaries,
They are
period, in the
mercenaries.
statement. They are mercenaries, and they would, I believe that they would fire on American citizens without hesitation.
Absolutely, but they're two different animals. You can't take our soldiers that take an oath to uphold our Constitution and to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic, and compare it with mercenaries. They're two completely different animals.
But aren't a lot of the Blackwater, aren't they former U.S. military?
They are, but they're no longer in the military. And see, where I think there's this gray area that a lot of people are getting lost is they're looking at people who have gone off to do something else. Like Blackwater, no, I don't think the two compare at all. Not one little bit. And none of the men and women that I know that are currently in the military have any respect whatsoever for people like Blackwater, because they don't stand for anything except their pocketbook. Exactly. There's a huge difference between the two, and I cannot see any comparison whatsoever.
What about the president that was set, I believe, in 68 or 69 with the National Guard killing 4 American citizens at Kent State in Ohio?
If you go back and you look through the documents, the court documents of the people in the National Guard that were prosecuted for that crime, the one guy, I'm sorry, I can't think of his name, he said, I was not given an order. I fired because someone else fired. He didn't fire because he was ordered to fire. It was a horrible thing that happened at Kent State, but I don't believe that a commander ordered them to open fire on those kids. Yeah. It's a different thing. It's a different situation, and every situation is different. But no, I think as a general rule that our military is made up of a lot of very good people, and that we do owe them a certain amount of respect for the fact that they put their lives on the line. Whether or not you're a fan of where they're fighting, I'm very anti-war. I'm very anti-intervention. I'm totally with Ron Paul on the fact that I don't think that we need to be all over the Middle East.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I have less respect for the people that are there. They're there because they were sent there. And they're in absolute hellholes, in horrible conditions and horrible places, seeing horrible things. And they deserve a little more respect than I think they always get.
I don't mean any disrespect for any.
No, I know you don't. I know you don't.
And, well, I want it noted that I don't mean any disrespect to any of our active military or veterans at all. None whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I shake their hand every time that I see them, thank them for their service every time that I come face to face with them. Have a great deal of respect for the people that do uphold their oath. I have no respect for the people that I've met recently that I personally believe would turn on American citizens, because if you could have seen the look in their eye, it was quite different.
Yeah.
The people that I've met, the military, because I live not too far from a National Guard post. I mean, I'm literally within a few blocks. So, I mean, I see them all the time. I mean, they're everywhere. So, like I said, I do not mean any disrespect. I know that they are in a very, very bad situation for the most part.
Yes. Now, one other thing I want to point out, there are a lot of different factions that are now not our regular, average, everyday soldiers. They're the UN peacekeepers, and many of them, you can't trust them further than you can throw them. Their loyalty is not to the American citizens or the Constitution. All bets are off when it comes to UN peacekeepers. Secondly, you have the immigrants that come over here and join the military only to become legal American citizens. What loyalty would they possibly have to American citizens? I'm talking about the guy that has lived in America all his life, gone to high school, and joined the military because he wants to do something good. Whether or not you feel like the military actually is doing something good, their intentions are in the right place. And I don't think that those people are going to look at me and my kids and my cousins and say, you know what, I'm going to fire on them because this guy just told me to. No, I don't believe it. So we have to use our discretion when we look at this. We can't group everybody into the same big pit. Like these people that you're talking about with these mystery badges, it is very intriguing, and I'd be fascinated to learn a little bit about their background. Are they actually American citizens? Are they actually mercenaries? Are they even in the military? You know, there's a lot of different directions you can go. Just because somebody has on a uniform that looks military doesn't actually anymore mean that they are military.
Right.
Look at the police forces.
Exactly.
The police force is more militarized than the military. Crime after crime after crime is committed by the police force. And there's a huge difference between the police force and the military. First of all, the police force, they're not forced to serve in these same horrific conditions. They're not giving over their life to the military for X number of years. They can quit. When you join the military, you can't quit. You're in. And then if you re-up and you sign up again, you know what you're in for. It's different when you're a cop. You know, people are constantly comparing the two, and it's apples and oranges.
Tess, do you have anything to offer?
Actually, this is kind of out of my scope of knowledge, so I'm just letting you guys go with it. I have a profound respect for the military, the people that have served this country and believe in the oath that they took. And I certainly hope that if there is some kind of civil unrest, that they'll be able to step up to the occasion and help us who are trying to defend this country and continue to make it a better place.
Do you think that Obama has all of the true military that you were describing, Daisy, the ones that grew up in America, the ones that went to high school, played high school football, and signed up to be in the military to protect and defend the Constitution? Do you think that they've all been shipped out because they're afraid that they would protect us instead of firing upon us?
I think it's possible. You know, it would be difficult to speak to that, but I think it's very possible. You've also seen some very, very patriotic people leaving the military lately that were highly ranking.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe that's because they wouldn't play ball. It's really impossible for me to say that. You know, Obama has been elected our commander-in-chief. However, you know, people in the military learn throughout their career that they must not follow an unlawful order. Firing on unarmed citizens is an unlawful order. And they are also taught that they're just as guilty as the person who gives the order should they follow such an order. And this is repeated throughout their training, time and time and time again. Every time they go into training, this is something that's repeated to them.
Well, that's good to know. I really wanted to discuss it because it's these people that have come into the store, and I presume that there's going to be more. I mean, when I look up and I see some dude walking at me with a Blackwater jacket on, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's frightening. I'm sorry, but that's And I do understand that there is a big difference, that there is no comparison between Blackwater and regular military. I do understand that, and I do know that, but it's still pretty scary. It's
it's frightening that the moment you spoke about being an oath keeper and they stepped away and didn't even want to talk to you.
Yes.
That's very unnerving.
You should have been there.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would definitely unnerve me as well.
It was terrifying. I mean, there's 3 of them, and they've got these, like I said, it's not a badge, but a patch that's on their uniform, and they're in green fatigues. The old school, old olive drab, solid green uniforms, and it's just like, oh my goodness. And I can't be 100% sure if they said that they reported to DHS or what it was, but they did. But one of them did say that they were part of riot control. That leads me to believe that they're not actually on my side, and it was pretty scary. I mean,
is riot control even part of the military?
Exactly.
So, again, I think we may be looking at a case of apples and oranges.
Well, but they had military uniforms on, and
generally, and not always, of course. And I'm sorry to be so argumentative. I truly am.
Good.
Generally, if you ask someone who they answer to, or if they're military or whatever, they are more than proud to tell you who they answer to. So that's what leads me to believe that maybe these people are not military. I mean, anyone can get fatigues.
Maybe they're UN peacekeepers. Quote peacekeepers.
Maybe they're UN peacekeepers. Maybe they're mercenaries, a different group of mercenaries, because a lot of those Blackwater guys wear stuff like that.
Oh, okay. See, I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of people like that dress in military style attire. Did it have anything emblazoned like USMC or anything like that?
I didn't see anything like that.
Because usually you can tell what branch someone's in just by looking at their uniform. Not always,
yeah,
but
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, my suspicion, if they're not answering that question, they're not proud of who they are. And most soldiers I know are proud of who they are.
Yes.
So just throwing that out there.
Okay. Well, that helps a lot. Well, it doesn't alleviate any of my discomfort, but but it certainly helps me to understand who I'm talking to. I mean, because like I said, I mean, I'm completely exposed, when I'm at work.
Definitely.
And it's becoming more and more of an issue because of, and I don't mean to sound paranoid, but they are definitely looking in the window.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you on that one.
Trying to mind my P's and Q's and being alert when these folks are coming at me. I have no defense. I literally am defenseless, and anything could happen. It concerns me a lot, and I'm not even sure where they're coming from. But anyway, I'm not going to take up any more of y'all's time. Thank you very much, Daisy. And
you're so welcome.
I really appreciate what you had to say, and Tess, I respect your silence.
Sorry about that.
No, that's good. It's fine. It's fine. But like I said, I really just wanted to talk to you because Daisy, in particular, because I know from reading your article, like I said, you've got all these family members that are listed as military, and you gave a very pertinent rebuttal to Dave's article, and and I wanted to share my personal experience with what I'm seeing.
Definitely.
It just scares the hell out of me. I'm not going to take up any more of your time, and I certainly appreciate all of your time today. And well, ladies,
it was so nice talking to you.
Same here, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. And once again, I really appreciate all the time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.